lesson will be on math measurement. In chapter 8, we learned measurement already. However, this chapter is different because we're going to look into conversion. So today's lesson will be on linear metric measurements. And before I get started, I want to show you this, the chart, the units that we'll be using for this chapter. So when we look at the bottom, this unit will be the smallest unit we'll be using for this chapter. However, that doesn't mean that this is the smallest unit in the world. Actually, there are smaller units like nanometer. However, for you and for this chapter, please be aware that we're going to start from millimeter. So knowing that millimeter is the smallest unit, when there are 10 of them, we can call it 10 millimeter. However, there is another name for it, which is centimeter. So 1 centimeter is the same as 10 millimeters. Then what will happen if we have 10 centimeters? That will become 1 decimeter. Well, we can call it 10 centimeter. However, there is just remember that there is a special name, which is decimeter. And when we have 10 decimeter, it will give us 1 meter. If we have 10 meter, then it will give us 1 decameter. And when we have 10 decameter, it will give us 1 hectometer. And then when we have 10 hectometer, it will give us 1 kilometer. So that's the relationship of these units. And let's look at our homework now. Okay, so this will be your today homework. And let's read the instruction for number 1 through 6. Write the unit used to measure the objects: millimeter, centimeter, meter, or kilometer. So we know that the millimeter here is the smallest, right? And then the second smallest will be centimeter, and the meter and kilometer will be the longest. Then let's do number 1. So when we're measuring length of a car, which unit should we use? It's definitely bigger than millimeter, because we usually use millimeter for like very small items like coins or buttons, things like that. So we know that car is way bigger than a coin. So I will be using meter for the length of a car. Then what about distance to work? This can be vary depending on the situation. However, if it's walkable distance, then I will say maybe meter, because sometimes people live very close to their workplace, or usually more commonly it's gonna be kilometer. For Miss Kang, from my place to BHCS, it's about 4 kilometers. So you can choose either meter or kilometer. And let's look at the length of a hand. Why don't you open your hand now and see how big it is? Is it bigger than a coin? For sure. Is it bigger than a book? Not really. And is it bigger than a car? Obviously not. So if it's not bigger than car, and if it's bigger than, so it's between coin and car, then we know that it's going to be centimeter. Okay, then let's look at the thickness of a nickel. So you have to be careful because it's not asking the length of a nickel, it's asking the thickness. So when we're measuring that, we need to put the coin side and look at the side of the coin. And it's going to be very narrow. So I'll be using millimeter. And height of a flagpole. So for this one, if you can't imagine how high it is, then just think about a building. When you're measuring a building, what unit would you use? For me, I think I'm going to be using meter. Then let's go to number 6. Distance to the moon. Wow. It's going to be the biggest unit, which will be kilometer. Then let's look at number 7. For number 7 through 12, you need to use the letters here, and you just need to match the unit to the corresponding explanation. So 1/100th of a meter, what does that mean? If we add this unit, or if we times this unit by 100, then it will give us a meter. Then which unit is it? Okay, I'm going to show you this one more time. So this is 1 meter, and 100 of them will become a meter. So if it's decimeter, if you have 10 decimeter, it will give us 1 meter. So it's not decimeter, it should be smaller than decimeter. And then as a centimeter, if we have 100 centimeter, then will it give us 1 meter? I think so. So number 7 will be centimeter, and centimeter is B. 10 meters, when we have 10 of 1 meter, then it will give us what? Let's look at this one more time. So 10 of them will be 1 decameter. So it's going to be 1 decameter. Decameter is D. Okay. And 1,000th of a meter. So when we have 1,000 of this unit, then it will give us 1 meter. So that means this unit, number 9, is smaller, way smaller than 7. And there is only one unit that's smaller than centimeter, which is the smallest, which is A. Okay, so I want you to complete number 10, 11, 12. And for number 13, 14, 15, 16, you need to take out your ruler and you need to start measuring them. However, watch out for the unit, because number 13 and 14 is in centimeter when 15 and 16 are in millimeter. Okay, and next one, number 17. So let's look at, I'm going to read the blue box first, and then we're going to solve the questions below. The boundaries of our farm measure 872 meters on the north side, 1 kilometer 50 meters on the south side, 703 meters on the east side, and 723 meters on the west side. So number 17 is asking, which is the longest? So just by looking at the number, we can tell that the second one here is the longest. And what side it is? This is the south side. So I'm going to write down south side. Then number 18, which is the shortest. This is very simple, because all you need to do is find the lowest number over here, which is the east side, which is 703 meters. Then number 19, how many meters long is the south side? This is simple too. All you need to do is just find the south side, and how long is it? 1 kilometer and 50 meters. Oh, then Miss Kang, how do I write this in numbers? Do I write down 1 kilometer and 50 meter? 50 meter? Well, this, I don't think I have seen any unit like this. I would rather write it like meter or kilometer, like this. Okay, then number 20, how many meters is the perimeter of the farm? What is the perimeter, fourth graders? Perimeter is the surrounding of the farm. So how do we find the surface? How do we find the perimeter? By adding all sides. So all you need to do is just add 872, 1050, 703, 723, and just give me the answer in meter or kilometer. That's up to you. And number 21, 22, 23, and 24 will be the same as 17 through 20. I want you to do this alone, and once you're done, don't forget to take a picture and uploaded on Google Classroom. So that's it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoy your math homework, and if you have any question, please ask question through the chatting system, and I will be always available to help. I hope you stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.